Let's go. I know, I got my headphones on and I have this different energy.
You look like a Beats commercial.
Thank you. I'm so cool and I'm hip.
You look
I
like you're
took
gonna
my
zip
little
up on
bandana off.
like a rash guard and go for a run.
Where are my ankle weights?
Oh
If you're
my
just listening to this and you can't see anything, we're so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Lo siento.
What a great start to the episode. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
welcome back. If you are watching this and you're wondering what the fuck is on Camilla's face, these are my fancy dancy new brand new migraine glasses, which is a whole brand of its own thing. No, it's not blue light, it's different. So I just got these this week and I look like one of the like three blind mice, but like in a like slightly, as Dom likes to say, like John Lennon-ish kind of way. So you know what? I'm into it, you know?
Wheezing. You just articulated the vibe that I could not. Because I was like, it's familiar. It looks like something. It's giving ah
Yeah.
three blind mice. That's it. It's giving three blind mice. Speaking of which, I gotta just share this with our 6.5 listeners.
Every week
Probably
it grows by 0.5.
last week we had 4. This I just so I was on the internet, right? Doing my thing, treating myself because last week was the first week of school, and I was like, it's been a week. So I went on the internet to order myself some glitter. I got myself an eyeshadow palette, and you will never fucking guess what the theme of this eyeshadow palette is.
Was it Shrek?
It was Shrek.
I love Shrek.
Well, colourpop.com. This is not sponsored. I just like them a lot, but if you want to sponsor us,
Oh my
that'd be
god,
crazy.
a dream. A
I've been
dream,
buying them for
honestly.
years. I've been buying
Same.
since college.
Same.
Love. Love.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that and
the Shrek palette.
the Maybelline Stay Forever lipsticks, if they ever want to sponsor us, or like if anyone wants to give me a trial run of lip tints, also into that as well.
Ooh,
Like that
yeah.
could
I'm
be the
like,
we should test that just for fun because we're both into lipsticks. I really want to try the
I'm
like.
looking at that. We should do a makeup episode.
Oh my
Let's
god, yes!
go. I'm
About
adding that to our
how we
docket.
how like learning to do your makeup as a grown adult is messy. You know?
Oh
Because so many of
my
us
God.
are resistant to like learning how to do it properly because we grew up in the era of like that. You remember that little thing that had the like the little stripies eyeshadow and you would just put it on and then it
Yes.
would like you
I
know what I'm
never
saying?
had one, but I
Yeah. But like
remember those.
yeah,
And
that's
you
the
just like, your finger, whoop, swipe it. Or that, yes. And then it was like a complete eyeshadow look all in one, but it was like just the same one
right.
because it
And
was
we all
3 colors.
grew up like that and we grew up
Yeah.
using the little Claire's eyeshadow and so it's like it's
The electric
embarrassing.
blue eyeshadow that made me look like it was pre-Chapel, all right? This was before blue eyeshadow was cool.
Was cool, yeah,
We were
100%.
all running
The
around.
thick eyeliner, you know? Like,
Oh my God.
oh god. Anyways,
Yes.
that's a story for another day, but,
Welcome to episode 2.
yeah, welcome.
You
Um,
can't avoid the mess. This is that we started talking about something that is totally not what our episode is about today. Folks are listening to this and looking at the title and being like, is
the
this a
fuck?
typo? Is this a mistake?
Did they upload the wrong episode with the wrong show notes? No, we didn't. It's just we're here to see where things take us. But today we are talking about the last, oh,
7 years.
7 years. Um, ever since, what have you been up to since you guys are doing? And then what have I in the darkness of the night? I don't know why I was in the darkness of the night. That was weird. Anyways, yeah. So what did you get up to after you graduated college? Sans your best friend
His best friend.
since you graduated college alone. That's so gay. Yes, because that's what we were doing, holding each other.
Yes, because that's what, yeah,
Anyways,
graduated. So it's so many things had to happen for us to have reconnected in this way, like both emotionally and logistically. Like if I had stuck with the plan, like not it wasn't even a plan. I didn't have any like resources or any real notion of what I was doing. I just thought when I graduated from college, I would get a job for a while, save up, and then move back to Oregon. I
Really?
did yeah, I didn't I was so anti Bay Area for the
Same.
longest time. Yeah, and now I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah. Hashtag love the bay. We're back and we're
West Coast, Best Coast. It's like I was so sure that I was going to just, like, book it out of my parents because I moved back in with my parents after I graduated, and then, like, my brother and I are 4 years apart, so I graduated, and then that fall, he went up to Oregon for college.
mm,
So it was me living at home alone with my parents, and I was yeah. So I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this job and, get my license, move myself up." I know, guys. Well, we can talk about that. That could be a whole ass episode on its own too. How it took Olivia 12 years to get her driver's license.
if you ever thought, wow, I'm behind. I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm 22.
I'm
Just
so
wait.
old. I haven't got just hey, hey.
But you got it. You have it now,
But I
which
got it. I have it in my wallet. They finally mailed it to me. That was a whole thing. It was I have stories. I
whoever's
promise. I'm
listening is
gonna
like, oh God, she just got it.
yeah, literally. It came in the mail a couple weeks ago and the picture's fugly. But
It's okay.
driving
It can't be worse than my Colombian passport because Colombia is very strict. You're not allowed to smile, but your hair has to be behind your ears. And so it's just like it's
like a
scary.
mugshot.
Yeah,
That's horrible. Oh, and you
I
have to
know.
hold on to that for like 10 years. That's crazy.
No, which is crazy because that's coming up. I actually got it. Oh
I know. Because I renewed my passport
my God, I have to
when we
renew
were
it this.
gonna go
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 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 crazy, crazy. But anyway, um, I did not plan to be living with my parents for as long as I was after we graduated. But COVID, March 2020, we celebrated that 5-year anniversary a few months
Right.
ago, which is insane because it feels like both 2 years and 10 years have passed in that time.
100%.
Like 5 years ago, it was crazy fire town, like, everything was falling apart, the world was burning, we were wearing masks to go to fucking Dollar Tree, like,
Although
just
one could argue the world is burning today
yes, the world continues to
to
burn
burn. The
and
fire has
melt.
just gone downhill slightly.
Yeah, yeah, it's a ball of fire, it's rolling down the hill, and it's inevitably going to destroy us all, but right now we're cool.
So bright. So optimistic. Join us for your morning commute. Don't.
Yeah, so
Um,
sorry if you're listening to this as you're trying to get ready for your day. What a downer.
but anyways.
Anyways, yeah, so COVID happened. And during that time, I was working I had gotten a job at a company that shall not be named, but it's a reading comprehension and math intervention company that I had worked at right after I quit Cutco. I got that job. So it was like when between the junior and senior years of our college experience. And I just went back to that company and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do this until I don't want to anymore. And then COVID hit and I was, one of the remaining full timers on that team. And I just stayed working from home with them, transferred centers remotely a couple times. And then 2 years later, there we were. I was being promoted to frankly, like it was a middle management position.
Okay.
Um, and it involved me having to move from my parents' place in the peninsula to San Rafael. And, I did that, but at the time this is where it gets, like, interesting because at the time I was dating I think I, like, mentioned this when we were having lunch, that I almost married an Iranian narcissist.
Yeah, 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 you did.
Yeah, so I met him at a Walmart.
That should just be in the okay, first of all, there's so many things that I'm like, "No, wait, after Labor," whatever, some bullshit, but, like, why would you ever date someone you met at Walmart? Not even it's not even a big cause of Walmart as a concept, but I mean, the mind state when you go to Walmart is not one that is, like, conducive to, like, "Let's find a" it's like
Find true love in the Walmart. Yeah, I okay, this is and hence, like, why we stayed together for so long, because we really should have broken up after the first, like, month that we were together. But it was at the time, it was a cute story because I had been so anti-dating apps during that time, and I was just like, "You know what? I wanna meet someone organically. I wanna have a meet cute." So, I went with my whole family to Walmart. My mom, my dad, my brother, we all packed in the car and went to Walmart together for something to
and
do on the
said,
weekend.
"This is what our sad life has come to. Our planned family outing is going to Walmart, and here we will find Olivia a husband." This is like the scariest matchmaking I've ever heard of. Continue.
It was yeah, I mean, I don't know why I don't know what we were even getting at Walmart. It had to be something. Somebody was looking for something. My brother wanted Legos. I needed
Sure.
to get, like, some shoes or a bra or something. I don't know. It was 4 years ago, and I we all went to Walmart, and I was pushing the cart, and mind you, this was just after sorry, like, my naked ass knee in the frame. Don't be weird in the comments, people, about my body
Yes,
parts.
there's so many comments, enough comments for it to get weird about your knee of all things that flashed on the screen for 3 seconds. Wow, she's like, "I've made it." Don't be weird.
Okay? I'm imagining that we have a massive audience and we're successful, okay? I'm manifesting it.
You just made me hit my head on a lamp is how hard I just laughed. The naked knee. I even like it was your foot. Anyways, so you're pushing a
Well,
cart.
okay, I'm pushing the cart in the
We're all
Walmart,
very invested to figure out how this meet cute happened.
and it was, like, right after we had all finally gotten vaccinated. So everyone was still masked because you, like, had to wait for it to be
Mhm.
effective the first time.
Right, okay.
And it was June, it was Pride Month, so I was wearing a rainbow shirt and rainbow earrings to the Walmart. You know, it was an outing. I had
The
to get
wall.
dressed up to
You
go to
sound like you're
Walmart.
84 years old. Will you go with me to the Walmart? I hope to find a man there. I'm so sorry to any British person because that was horrific and I acknowledge it. And that was just a gut reaction to the Walmart Connect.
Once again,
Anyway,
assuming that we have British listeners.
correct. I don't know. Maybe our
So
third person lives anywhere.
I'm at Walmart with my family wearing a rainbow outfit and a mask. Only this part of my face, like my
Yeah.
glasses up is visible. I'm pushing the cart down the cat food aisle.
The
Okay.
story gets hotter by the second. I want you to know. Viewers at home, it's NSFW now. Oh my god. I'm horrified. Yeah, because somehow this is
How'd you
better.
know?
I could go on a whole tangent right now, but somehow women and well, I won't even just say women, but especially I hear it from women, have romanticized the idea of meeting someone in person so much so that meeting a man in the Walmart cat food aisle is quote preferable and more destined than a dating app? I can't. Anyways, continue.
So I'm in the cat food aisle, and this man, this 6 foot whatever man in a button down, is pushing, is pushing his cart, and we pass each other in the aisle. And then I go around to the other aisle. I'm like checking out the toys for the pet toys, and I pick up a little mouse for my family's cat. And then he like passes me again. He's like following me. And then
Even
okay.
better.
And then I stop at the end of the aisle, and we run into each other trying to enter the same aisle. And he's like, "Hey, I really like your outfit." So because I'm wearing all fucking rainbow, I assume that he's gay. It's Pride Month. I'm wearing rainbow. A man comments on my rainbow
I'm
outfit. I
even
assume
more
he's gay.
shocked that you didn't work out in the long term. Okay, so now you're like, Slay Queen, you're
Yeah. So now I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I have my mask on and I'm like, thanks so much. Da, da, da. And then we start talking. And he tells me that he has just moved from Boston. He's in a PhD program and he's like just moved from Boston, but he grew up in Tehran and he like has an accent. And we're just like talking about the area and he's telling me like where he moved and he's only been there like 6 weeks. He has
my
lived in California for 6 weeks. And he's got a place in the town next to my hometown. Go figure. So we get to talking, and 20 minutes later, standing in the fucking cat food aisle, 20 minutes later, he asked me for my number to go get coffee. And I'm like, sure. Still thinking he's gay, not knowing that he's asking me out.
I will say also we could do a whole episode on this specific context, but going on a date that you don't know is a date is actually the recipe for some of the messiest shit you will ever be involved in your life. Like, I feel
Yes,
like that's just destiny.
we could call, yeah, like season 2. Look out for it. Episode whatever. Is this a date?
Sorry, I didn't know this was a date. That's an at to somebody named Alex. Not you. That's a mine. Anyways,
Okay, well, yeah, we could do a whole episode on Alex's. We could.
boy. Oh God, can you imagine? Horrific. They'd all come out of the woodwork. No. Letter to my
God.
exes, a podcast for all of you. Oh my God. I'm sweating just thinking about it.
Oh my God, every single
Wait, I
one.
have to
Yeah,
tell you
stay
something
stay
so
tuned.
funny as you're telling the story. One time, I had a week where I had a dream every night with one of my exes in it. Every night. And so I posted on my Instagram to be funny, right? And I was like, yo, at my exes, like, y'all good out there? Because I've been dreaming it all, y'all. You're Gucci. Just fucking around, right? Because you know that I just like love to shitpost. And my high school boyfriend DMs me like, even me. And I was like, yeah, even you. And he was like, oh, what happened in the dream? I'm like, I was not about to tell this man that he like rescued me off a mountaintop. It was like a whole like those romance movies where there's horses involved, like that kind of like
Fabio.
Fabio. Yeah, it was a Fabio-esque dream, and I was not about to tell him that. So I was like, "Oh, there was a mountain. You carried me then." And he was like, "Oh, that's so weird, haha." And I was like, "Isn't it?" Aha. As I'm telling my partner, like, I cannot give more details on this dream because I really don't want to, but it was actually very funny. And so I guarantee you if I posted like this is episode for all my exes, we would at least have one listener that is absolutely him. So there's that.
Great. Good to know our audience.
The
Helpful.
demographics of our audience include anyways. So you
I meet
go
this
out to
guy at a
coffee
Walmart.
with
Consequently, we go
go get coffee with Mr. Isle Cat Food Slay Queen.
not seeing his face
Can I call him
because we were
Frisky Slay Queen? Because that would be so good. Okay. That's what
Sure.
he
I just call him, the Iranian narcissist. So like,
Right. But I
sure,
feel like
whatever.
that's heavy, and that's not the tone we have here, Olivia. It's a beep bop bop, not like Iranian
Yeah,
narcissist makes it sound like we're gonna go to therapy. Mr.
right.
Mr. Frisky Slay? That's the podcast I want to listen to.
Episode 2, where are they now? Subhead Mr. Frisky Slay.
I guarantee you have at least one deranged person on the internet that's like, ooh, perks up.
So, yes, I went we didn't even get coffee. We ended up getting pizza at 3 p.m. a couple weeks later after we could take our masks off.
Yeah.
And then it turned into hours and hours. Like our first date was like 6 hours. And then we became really enmeshed in each other's lives. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I was sleeping over. We went on a couple of like trips together. And this is all in the span of not even 8 months. We like did traveling together. I had like
Where'd you
half
go?
the, just like Seattle, Denver, Vail, um, Monterey, not like, not international
You weren't
travel
like,
because he,
you weren't like, Ibiza. And then we went to Prague.
well, he couldn't because he was on a work visa. So we had to stay in the US.
Okay, but
Yeah.
still, it wasn't like he was like, Shawty, let me take you to, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Although Vale's up there. I've never
Vail
heard of
was
someone
nice.
being
Yeah.
like
We went to Vail in February and it was popping. So
actually enchanting.
it was. Yeah. And it would have stayed that way if he hadn't been emotionally abusive and condescending and like the worst person I've ever met. So,
Was it in
oh
that moment with him that you were like, maybe Camilla wasn't that bad?
my God.
Such a good one. In the back of my head, I want you to know all of my mental like projections, like my mini Camillas are all like, that was so good. Anyways, carry on.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to validate you.
I'm so glad I'm a step above Mr. Frisky Slay.
Frisky Slay.
Wow, that's
Hey,
all I ever needed.
take the win.
I feel
That's
so good
just,
about myself right now.
yeah. So Mr. Frisky Slay, um, and I could go deeper, but that's not what this episode is about. He was a blip. Um, but the reason I call him the Iranian narcissist I almost married is because we did toy with ring shopping.
Mm,
And it like, which is crazy because it was a very short relationship and we didn't even move in together. And it was just, it was cuckoo bananas. Um, so we broke up. I moved out of my parents' place. Woohoo! And then um I worked that job. I worked the like middle management tutoring company job for almost a year and burnt out because it was absolutely horrible. The structure of the company was, mm, and just it wasn't where I wanted to be. So I went on medical leave and then pieced out. Um, Discovered that I had been depressed for several years and hadn't known that that's what it was.
you mean the affirmations weren't affirmationing?
I wasn't doing any affirmations. Maybe that was my problem. Maybe
That's all that it would take actually. No therapy, no nothing. You just need
yeah,
to
no
tell yourself
therapy.
you're wonderful once a day and it would have solved everything.
Yeah, just look at the mirror, look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm worthy.
Do a little power pose. Oh, God.
Little power pose. Smile at myself. Yeah.
Hands on the hip.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hands on the hips and direct eye contact with yourself. Jesus. But yeah, did some therapy about that, and then got into more deeply into special education, which is where I am now. I start grad school tomorrow. My first class
Ooh,
is tomorrow. Woohoo!
welcome
Um,
back to being a
welcome
student.
back to school. I have all my new notebooks. I'm
Cute, cute, cute,
I'm
cute,
excited.
cute. Did you get
Yeah.
any pens?
I have so many pens because I don't. I mean, so much of
Okay,
my work is on screen.
yes, but
Pilot G7.
no, I have this new brand. I've told you the erasable ones.
Well, yeah, you gotta send me the link
They're
to those. The ones that
ugh,
actually erase.
they're breathtaking, enchanting, all of the above. It's a game changer. An erasable pen that actually works. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't when I was a youngin', we didn't have those.
No, we had those horrible the ones
Back
you
in
know the
my
ones that I'm
day.
talking about that was like erasable and it would just leave the massive splotch and it was like if by
Yeah.
erasable you mean everyone in from outer space can see that I tried to erase this, then yeah, sure, it was so erased.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not gonna badmouth any particular brand, but I think we all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued for libel.
So specific content. Um, yeah, so I quit that job and I was working special ed, and then, like, during this whole time, I was dating, trying to find my person, trying to figure out, like, who I was and what I wanted, and eventually, after a couple more, false starts and one failed relationship that I'm still dealing with the fallout of because this person won't leave me alone. After 2 years, um, after those things fizzled out or abruptly ended, whatever, um, I decided to take a year of celibacy, which was kind of trending on the internet at the time. Was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go off the apps. I'm not gonna meet anybody. If I do meet someone, I'm not gonna have sex. I'm just gonna really try to work on the emotional part and do more healing by myself and not try to jump into anything because that's what
Mhm.
my pattern was like going from one relationship and then like immediately jumping into something else. So I didn't want to do that again. I wanted to actually like take my own advice and try to figure some of my shit out. So I did more therapy. I read some books. I was trying to figure out if I was like asexual
Mm.
or if I just like had a lot of bad experiences. And eventually it got to a point where I knew that I wanted to explore my sexuality because I'd been thinking about it for like half my life and I had never really made good on it. So I thought, you know what?
I
I like nothing had ever happened.
I just remembered your failed attempts at asking out that one person who we won't name. Let's nickname them basketball for the purposes of this conversation. And
Mhm.
how like funny that
She was
was.
so like not my type. We were not compatible. Like,
Types because she was hot. Anyways, not the
well,
point.
yeah.
The point. No, she was artsy. Have you seen what she's up to lately?
I
Are you
haven't
friends
checked
with her
her
on
Facebook in
Facebook?
years.
Oh,
I mean, I saw like right after college when she was getting all the like native tattoos and like
because now it's so unclear who we are speaking of. one day, one day. Anyways, I was gonna say she's has kids and like is like
no
on a whole.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Like couple of years ago, actually, like maybe 5 years. No, 4 years. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, post pod we'll dissect. But I was just at remembering the day that you asked her out, and it was like a business meeting. Like, hey, would you want to go and eat sometime? And then it was the response was like, yeah, sure. And then nothing ever happened afterward. And you
Nothing.
would come every week and be like, so send me. What do you want me to say? You gotta make a plan, you weirdo. Anyways.
and then we did, and then she, like, ghosted. So, I was like, "Alright, like, that's fine." So, yeah, I mean, the
You
next
tried.
year yeah, and the next year I asked out, um, a person who was in one of my classes, and she had a boyfriend. So I just, like, kept hitting these what I perceived as, like, walls, and I was just like, "Okay, I'll just keep trying it with men, I guess." And I was too scared to actually commit to dating women on the apps
Mm,
until this point last fall. So, fall 2024, when I was like, "Okay, I'm, like, this close, I'm getting there." I was reading the lesbian master doc on the internet and watching all these videos of women who had come out later in life, and maybe they had a husband and kids, or they, like,
mm,
had a past, and it didn't hit them how gay they were until it hit them,
mm.
and I was like, "Okay, like, I identify with some of this, but not the part where I get so far as to, like, marry a man without ever having explored women. Like, if I do that, then I'm gonna be really depressed and totally, like, lose my sense of self." So, that's they.
Little harder next time. Continue.
That's me. That's my you're you're doing you, you're happy,
Imagine,
you know.
imagine I'm a man of an orange fruit seller. I don't know why this is where I'm going with this. Imagine orange fruit seller standing in front of you, and you're just like, okay, but if I had to sell oranges, I would hate myself. I'm so glad it works for you. But for me, it's the game over. Oh my god,
What
that
it
was so
was!
funny. Oh, we'll
That's what it
discuss
came
later. We'll
to.
discuss
Oh my
later. But
god! Because
anyways,
I was just like,
continue.
I couldn't that was me. I was so in it. That's, like, what made me so depressed and made me seek
She ran
medication
away
was
from
just
the fruit
like,
stand and she was like, "This is fucking it. If we're not out here buying blueberries tonight, it's game fucking over." Suddenly, we're in a farmer's market. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like farmer markets are fairly gay, right?
"They're so gay." Yeah, like, that's where all the lesbians are.
Right, exactly. So there
That's
we go.
yeah.
That's why I went with. I don't know why it was a guy selling oranges then, but
Well, then, because I ran to the girl who was selling strawberries.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Okay, there we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
that's up. Yeah, now we finished the metaphor, we've come yeah, we're back. Train of thought, back on the track. So, I got medicated, and then I got on the apps, and I met my now girlfriend, whom I absolutely adore, and things are good. I We went to a party over the weekend, and there were some straight men talking about straight men things, and my girlfriend and I just looked at each other, and I was like, "I love being gay."
Yeah. Sorry, you can't code switch like us bisexuals. Continue. I'm more versatile at the parties.
I am the party,
Yeah. Bring the party. Am the
as
party.
Chapel says, "At every party, we're the party." That's the energy.
Oh my.
But yeah, so now I'm living my best life. I have a stable job and a girlfriend I love, and I'm significantly less anxious and depressed,
And
and,
no longer trying to meet people at Walmart.
no longer trying to have a meet cute in COVID times at a fucking Walmart. That's growth. Thank you for listening.
Olivia's life gotcha. The good, the bad, and the frisky. I couldn't help myself.
So many alternate titles. What are we gonna call this episode? This is
I
so
don't
good. The
know.
good, the bad, the frisky.
So good. There has Mr. Frisky Slay has to be in the show notes somewhere.
Frisky Slay. I know. I'm gonna put that in the chat
Make
so we
sure that you do. What have I been up to? Thanks for asking. I also graduated. I graduated with the rough draft of my book written, and then I
Ooh,
did nothing with it. I sat on it for a while. And then I went to a women's retreat in October of that year, and they were all like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, just put it out. Like it's not like you the biggest piece of your heart. It's not like your memoir. Like it's just like it's a fucking book about dating apps. Just put it out." And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I blew out my knee coming back from that trip. So fun. So slay. And so I laid in bed, and as I laid in bed and unable to do much, I just worked on the book. So uh the week lockdowns happened, my book came out. No, actually, okay. No,
Tammy.
lockdown started like 2 weeks after my book came out, but I consider it right when my book was coming out because that was like in the period of like, the peak of launching your book, self-publishing, whatever, yada yada. And I was actually interviewed on a podcast on my way back the day that California went into lockdown. Yeah, I was in Indianapolis, like recording a podcast, and then I came back, all that. And honestly, I could have capitalized on it a lot. Everyone was at home, everyone was on their phones, but I was so burnt out from the conceptualizing, the writing that book alongside my thesis, alongside like the horror that was my mental health, the spring of 2019, um and everything that had happened that I just like I couldn't. I just like I put in some effort because we released a Spanish translation that same year. Um and outside of that, I didn't do much, and I still honestly have not. Like I It's out in the world. You can get it in Amazon.
Link in
And
bio.
link in bio. You can also your library could order it for you. So could Barnes and Noble. If you go to Barnes and Noble and you ask for the book, swipeable. That can um, but I didn't do much. Like I started to, and then I couldn't. And I think that's one of the biggest things, like professionally in the past almost decade that I've really taken away is like, your professional journey really just does not have to be sequential. Like it's just so much messier than
Yeah.
you
Doesn't
ever
have to be
anticipate.
linear.
But I went back to Cutco and I ran an office for a year. Broke some records, broke the national record in the month of August. Hey, guess well. And then I kind of blew up my life plan because I was planning on opening an office, going full time in that, and like moving in with my then boyfriend and my best friend. And then I like went to this, you know, big bad personal development retreat event, and I just was like, no, it's just not aligned with what I want and where I'm going in life. So I burned down that plan, got a lot of pressure at work because I'd kind of been working towards this for 5.5, almost 6 years. Like my entire collegiate career was so built around Cutco and like my identity as the like a person that was having an atypical collegiate experience because I was like in this very different world. That was a season of my life where I was routinely going to retreats with millionaires. Like it was just
Hmm.
a different era. And so after I blew up that life plan, moved in with my parents. Lockdown was hard because my parents were both essential workers, so I distracted myself by remodeling a bathroom in their house.
Someone does.
As one does, and I cleaned out my childhood bedroom. Also as one does. And then I was feeling really frustrated because my partner and I were engaged and we'd had to push the wedding back because of restrictions and my family not being able to make it. And then we were kind of like, what are we waiting for? So we just said full send and we planned an elopement, which which was with 30 people, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's not an elopement." And I'm like, "Okay, but when you consider the size of our families, it really is though, because Dom has four legal siblings, plus all the kids, plus my in-laws, plus my parents, plus my, you know what I mean?" But it was outside, everyone was masked except us. We tested beforehand, and then I started like on a new venture, like on independent selling, like in the Cutco world, which is still something that I do today. And then we kind of just one day he looked at me and was like, "What if we moved to Austin?" And I was like, "What if we did?" So we got married, and the day after left to go look at how like rentals in Austin. That was our
What was in
honeymoon.
Austin? Like, what was appealing about it?
Who knows? I'm a full time kind of person. Like, you don't have to tell me, like, sure, why the fuck not? So we moved to Austin, and then I commuted back and forth for 2 years. Um, 2021, I was pretty heavy. I was like here 5 weeks, there 2 weeks, here 5 weeks, like working and stuff. Because my client base was here. And then 2021 was a crazy year because we moved. The big freeze happened, which threw us completely out of whack, like as people slash workers. And then I had the worst PTSD episode I've had before and after,
Mm.
which put me out for like 3.5, almost a month, trying to recover from that, which was a shit show. And then uh had four family members die from COVID. And
Oh my
then
God.
one of my friends got hit by a car
Oh shit.
and died, and my mom's client died. And amidst all that, I donated my kidney to a stranger. And then what month does that put us in? July of 21. And then the
Whoa.
grief caught up with me by the fall. I was having my best year professionally. I was breaking all of my prior sales records I'd ever had. And I, by October, November, just like fell apart as a person. I like
Yeah.
emptied my savings just trying to like keep my head on. Grief has a way of doing that too, for sure. And like on one hand, I would go to like work events and everyone was like, "Damn, like you're popping off, like you're breaking records, you're doing this stuff." And on the other hand, like I felt horrible. Um, and it was in that moment that Camilla realized that it really doesn't matter like what I'm selling. Cause for a long time I thought that if I was just doing that, if I was making a certain amount of money, if I was whatever, like succeeding professionally in that way, that like everything else falls in line. And it's
Mm.
really just not like that at all. Not to say that I'm like uber successful in that arena, because it was like, 8 or 10 months out of a decades long career at this point. But um that happened, and then I broke my wrist, and that was a whole time. And as soon as I started getting better from that, I got COVID, and I got long COVID for 6 months. And so
Oh my God.
2022 was rough. At that point, I was the only one working, which is a whole thing we could get into at another point. And it's really hard, I would say, to you never know what's gonna happen. And when you make the decision to marry someone, like you go into it knowing that there's gonna be good times, there's gonna be bad times. I don't think we quite anticipated how much challenge we would have in those first couple of years. Because at this point we'd only been married a year and a half. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then we made the decision in the fall of 22 to move back to the Bay Area. Dom took a job out here and we moved. That was a whole time. I went to work for a startup. I went corporate. And then again, kind of had a little bit of like, okay, like made it a little bit in the sense that like the stress that I was under working for myself and like handling private insurance and like being self-employed and like all the stress that comes with that like was quote unquote gone. And then I encountered horrible corporate stress and a horrible boss. Not my direct boss, John. If you're listening to this, I love you. But other people,
I'm so sorry if you could hear that. I live right next to the street. That
whatever. It doesn't
whatever.
matter.
It's fine. We'll fix it in post.
Could they go after me for defamation? No, I don't think so. I'm not saying their name. Anyways, terrible environment. I got fired, and then again, just kind of like threw me into like a whole host of lots of things. I picked up my sales stuff back up and like spent the better part of 2 years freelancing and trying different things and dabbling in a couple different things, still selling Cutco, but I think that I very much recognize that like I didn't want it to be my full focus anymore. Um, so I joined my business together with two like business partners a couple years ago, and we've been running our business like sliced in three. So we share all of our clients, we share the workload, and we have our high moments and our not high moments, but like honestly, it's so much more sustainable than it was for me to just do it solo. That's another, got into a whole thing about like business
Hmm.
and all of that. But like today, for example, I had a call with them and I was like, I'm gonna just be real. Like I am underwater with what's I've got. Like my bandwidth is at max. And the free time that I do have is going to go to my creative projects right now because that's what I need to like light me up as a person. I don't have more work creative or more work time in my brain. And yeah, it was wonderful to like have a system and like have a structure set up where the two people were like, yeah, we got you. And we'll let you know if there's anything that we absolutely need you for, but like we'll drive it forward and that's why we structured it this way. So yeah, so that's been the past couple whatever. And then oh yeah, and then last year I got pregnant.
No biggie. Yeah.
No biggie.
Oh
So
yeah, side
now
note, I have a tiny
oh
human.
yeah, and so now I have a tiny human who's about to turn 1 in a couple months, which is absolutely bonkers bananas crazy. Because I feel like it was just yesterday she was born, and I feel like I sound like such a cliche, but whatever, don't care. And we live with my parents again because we decided that it was what was going to be most sustainable for us in this season where like given work schedules and everything with her and like honestly I think that there's just such a shame around the idea of like moving back in with your parents as a grown up and
Absolutely. In this country,
oh my
the like
god
anti multi-gener we could do a whole episode on that. Like
right
multi-generational living.
100% like and honestly it's great, it works wonderful for us. Like sure do I wish sometimes like we had a mansion. We could be on opposite wings sometimes, sure, but like what most of it's just
Wings.
roommate stuff.
Yeah.
It's wonderful
Communication.
to have my parents here with her. It's wonderful to be able to watch their relationship really blossom and develop in a way that would never happen if we didn't like live with them. Like she sees her grandparents every day. She wakes up to her abuelita almost
What a
every single day.
privilege for her.
Right. Like what a blessing. And something that because of our move to the States, like I didn't get that as a kid. So um yeah, that's what we're doing there. And outside of that professionally, I'm working on some more creative projects outside of obviously this hit podcast I'm not doing. Um foreshadowing. And I also work full time for the government now. And
Hey,
so fun,
get
slay.
that pension.
Get that uniform. I will say honestly, as a kid that like complained like a motherfucker my whole life about wearing a uniform, honestly, when it's 4 in the morning and I'm getting ready for work and nursing a baby, yeah, it's real nice to just be like, yep, that's what I'm wearing. And I don't have to think 3 seconds about what's going on my body. Does it looks like a freaking uniform for the government. That's what it looks like. And that's it. So I love that. It's just like for my executive function, wonderful. And honestly, we thought it was gonna be so hard to have me like working and all these things, but it's been great for us to kind of see like what it's gonna take for us to run like me solo working and him being at home with her. And now we're kind of just like toying with the idea of like, what do we want it to look like? Do we want him to work part time? Do we want him to stay at home for a season? Can we make that work financially? Like all of those things, right? And it's lovely to kind of have the space to just like play around with ideas and not feel like we have to make any decisions right here and right now. And I think that we owe that a lot of that energy to all of the hardship and the craziness that we had so early on in our relationship and also in our marriage. Just like it's funny because someone was telling me that like the job training was like the worst thing in our life or whatever. And so I told that to Dom and he goes, like 2021 bad? Like everyone dying all around you and your life falling apart? It's like I freaking hope not. If it's that bad, then I'm good.
Oh
But
my
really,
God.
I do think that there is just so much, not just resilience, because I hate it when people say that, but so much grace that can be found in
Yeah.
um when your life just takes like the most fucking unexpected turns ever, because then you're just kind of like, you realize that it's most things A are not that deep, and B, everything can change or does change, and so you just kind of have to like just accept that, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's us. And uh and yeah, we're honestly like, it's busy, and it's on it many days stressful, especially with like a new job with really packed hours with a lot of studying and with everything that I've got going on. But I love it. I honestly thrive in this kind of environment, this kind of like schedule,
Yeah, I know,
I
I
think
know. You gotta have multiple. You gotta have
I
a job and a
do.
side hustle and a something and a yeah.
Yeah, and a
Otherwise
side
you go
hustle on my side
crazy.
hustle. I really would. And I think that now it's so exciting to be able to treat Cutco and podcast and like the other stuff that I've got working, like as side hustles, because there's not that pressure to like live my life off any one thing. And I've accepted that. And so like I used to be so embarrassed of my multi passionate like brain, and like how I love thinking about different things and how I would change my career 100 times if I could. Like, and now like I see it as such an opportunity for like, just like, yeah, I'm like incredibly adaptable, and I'm not tied to one thing, because if one thing doesn't work out, great, I'll find something else that does. So love that for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. You can pivot at any time. It's such a gift and a strength to be able to be so because that I mean, I could go off on that. Like this episode is already so long, but I could go off
Everyone's
on
like, please shut up. But then you want to have a thrilling podcast to listen to. So do you really want us to? No, you don't.
yeah. No, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Well, what are you listening to this week?
Oh, um, so I have 2 alarms in the morning because I'm, back to the grind. Have to be at school at 8 for the kids. And I have 2 alarms. I have 1 alarm for getting out of bed and 1 alarm to, like, put my shoes on and get the fuck out the door. And the wake up alarm is, from the start, Live,
Okay.
and then, the get your ass out the door alarm is Dolly Parton's 9 to 5,
Oh, good. That's a good one.
which is
I
mm,
you are gonna I hold on. I have to pull this up because I don't want to mess up the title of it, because to be honest, it was one of those moments where you just add something to your playlist and then you um like just leave it there. Um okay, I just don't want to mess up the artist name. Um you're gonna laugh. I've actually been listening to a country song on repeat all week.
Hoopst.
Yeah. Dom's gotten me into country on occasion in the past couple years. I know. It's a shocker.
Yeehaw.
But
Okay.
it's like a very commercial song, but it's the song Austin by Dasha. You don't know it? Like,
I have
when
no
your
idea.
boots stop working and your anyways, you have to listen to it. It's enchanting, incredible. We live, laugh, love. So I've been listening to that on repeat. I don't know why, but that's become my like it's become my like fuck you song. Like when I'm in a bad mood. Like I left the house feeling grumpy the other day, and I was like in the car like, go back to Austin. I don't know. Like I've officially reached my most Texan stage ever, which is that a country song is now my fuck you song. LOL.
Not even living there anymore.
No, but honestly, personality wise, Austin was such a good fit for me. Oh my god. People are so warm, and they're just like the culture of like saying hi to randos like everywhere that you go, and just the warmth of people, like Southern hospitality is absolutely my vibe. Sometimes in the Bay Area people are just so cold, and they're like, why the fuck are you talking to me? And I'm like, because I'm alive and you're here too, so fuck off. Fine, just stand here in silence and I won't tell you your shoes are nice. Fuck. Anyway, So yeah, I
Oh,
have been listening to that, and then I'm still just like blasting Ordinary by Alex Warren, which is again a commercial hit. I don't know. She's having a pop moment. I don't know what you want from me. But it's just there's just something about choral vibes that I love it. And I have my moment when I just want to feel like that emotion. I don't there's just something about
yeah,
it.
you wanna feel that, like,
Like
sense of community
like
through
a
music.
hurt dude. A hurt dude with a choir behind him.
Yeah.
Game over. And with you, stay
Thank you
tuned
so
for next.
much for tuning in. Yeah, we will hopefully see you again, or you will see us again, and
Yeah,
I don't
or you'll
know.
never listen ever again and leave a 1-star review that's like, "What the fuck did I just listen to?" But you know what? You listened to it, and then you cared enough to comment. So, that you know what that reminds me of? It reminds I have this 1-star review that I love reading of my book.
When you're feeling down.
I love it. I honestly I don't trust books with only 5-star reviews. This is just, like, a personal, like, preference because like, if
Yeah.
people don't have mixed feelings, then, like, either you
Then
know what
there
I mean?
wasn't
Anyways.
anything, like, juicy in it.
But anyways, I have
Yeah.
this 1-star review that's like, "This was the most waste of time book I've ever read. I have no idea how this has positive reviews and people get stuff out of it. There was nothing like, no information or stats, just rambling or some shit like that." And it cracks me up because I have an index. Like, I'm me, I had footnotes. And so the fact that, like, my whatever, however many it's like 45 pages or whatever. It's a guide, so
Mhm.
it's not long, but
Yeah.
like my little guide to dating apps for men has footnotes and an index and is like it was like poured over for accuracy. And when we did the first print release, there was like 5 typos, and I just kind of rolled with it and I auctioned off like Starbucks gift cards to people who found the typos, and then I corrected in the next print. Like that little book has been gone over so many times. Actually, fun fact, Haley, from in common from college edited it.
Mhm.
Anyways,
No
yeah,
way!
what about you? But uh,
Okay, alright.
anyways, so it cracks me up anytime I think about like 1 star. So like, I actually live, laugh, love. Like if we have haters, oh my god, the first time we get a negative review, I'm gonna be so excited. So with that, I
Yeah, we're
leave
gonna have a
you.
party about it. Yeah.
Love us, hate us, but you're still here listening to us. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time.